It goes back to treating people the way you want to be treated, doing what's in the best interest of the customer. If we're not cultivating relationships and going above and beyond what expectations are, then we're not in business.
Hello and welcome to Center for Victory's podcast of Your Best Day Yet. At Center for Victory, we're here to help unlock, reinforce, and enrich relationships through personal and professional development. I am here with a wonderful person and a great friend, and has been a friend for a long time. And even before that, was a friend of your father, and that's how I met you. But Mr. Brendan Brown, a Yinzer.
Yep.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Welcome to the show. We're going to unpack this. So, Brendan is the president of Tom Brown Inc. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Talk about leadership. Just talk about how to balance things. Right? I know both of us haven't done a super job of that in the past, but I think there'll be a lot of inspiration here. You've gone through a lot, but. Tell us a little bit about, what always intrigues me when I talk to people about the company is how long it's been around and the legacy and things like that. So give us a little history. Tell us what you do at Tom Brown, and then give us a little history of the past.
Sure, yeah. So the company's been around since 1936. I am fourth generation. CEO, president, owner, schmuck, does it all. Or does nothing, depending on which way you want to look at it. We started in the world of selling lime to the steel mills and got into concrete repair products and selling sealants and caulking and waterproofing, which led us into some other markets. And we sell foam adhesive tapes for window manufacturing, because if you're going to glaze a window, you can use caulking or foam tape. So we started selling foam tapes, which further diversified different markets that we could sell into. And we sell to truck and trailer manufacturers, commercial window manufacturers, residential window manufacturers, aerospace defense, and then a whole industrial market where anytime you're trying to stick two different things together, we can find something to hold those things together for you.
And what's coming down the road? Are we allowed to talk about this stuff that's coming down the road? Because I found it fascinating, especially like with the masks. I know you've been working with that ever since we went through COVID. But
sure, yeah, we had one of my dad's high school buddies and come to us and had an idea to create a reusable N95 mask. And he traveled abroad, did these Doctors Without Borders missions, and saw the air pollution out in the world and how, what people had on their faces was not really protecting them. And he wanted to develop something that actually protected people. And this was all pre-COVID, and so we had been working on this project since then, and we're in our final N95 testing stages right now. But we basically invented a reusable N95 mask that's injection molded. It's comfortable to wear. You get a good seal to your face, and it'll actually protect you. And it's relevant for healthcare workers, construction workers. It can kind of go anywhere. People just needing to protect themselves on a day-to-day. We have different filtration medias that you can just swap in and out. So depending on what environment you are in, there's a lot of education that can go into, how you want or need to be protected that day. Everybody knows N95. That's the kind of standard out there, but it's not necessarily always the best filter for you and what you're trying to protect against. So very versatile. and it won't fog your glasses up whenever you're wearing it. So that's a big,
I forgot about that.
that's a big,
That's huge.
Yep.
That is very huge.
So that's a side project that we've got going, and just kind of further diversifying what Tom Brown Inc. can do, and we're manufacturing all of that out in our Salt Lake City, Utah plant, and yeah, that's a fun project.
Well, let's talk about kind of your role in your leadership journey. You said you're fourth generation. I kind of know this story a little bit, but what was it like stepping into leadership of such a business rooted with family?
Yeah, so I'm fortunate, right? You hear a lot of horror stories about family businesses, and I grew up in the business. I grew up, on days off of school, going in and getting excited to go and help in the warehouse, just unload trucks or load trucks, and scare the employees at their desks, and just being around the company. And I came into the business out of college, and I kind of stepped in, and everybody knew where I was headed, and my dad was ready for me to be in the company, and it was special that we got to go to lunch every day, and I'm a very collaborative person. I just kind of like to talk things through, and so we'd go to lunch every day, and I'd spend a lot of time in his office, and just talking about what I think, what I see, what I know, what does he know, and I don't know if anybody knows my dad, but he's a storyteller, so I've heard them all, and can repeat them all mostly. But so, I learned a lot off of legacy, a lot of what he's built and how he built his company. And I came in with some fresh ideas that he was anxious to hear about and learn about. And we kind of came up with plans together, and he was very happy to hand the reins over and retire and have fun. And so I'm fortunate, because I know a lot of family businesses don't get that experience, and it's very hostile, and there's some takeovers, and I've got 3 siblings, and none of them wanted to come into the business, and they go, oh yeah, it must be nice to be Brendan, and look what he's doing now, and where is he going, and then they look at it and go, yeah, I don't actually want to do what he's doing, and they're all doing great, and happy for me and the company.
I always love, I was thinking about that this morning, because there's a joke that I have with another person. It's just, it must be nice, right? I hate hearing it, like, it must be,
right.
Oh, that's wonderful. Like, I haven't been home for 8 days, right? I just got back from a trip, and then that night, then the next day you're on the road again. I'm driving 2.5 hours for a meeting yesterday morning, and I love it. Oh, it must be nice. It's lovely all the time.
People always used to tell my dad that too. He goes, it must be nice to be Kenny Brown, right? And it must be nice to be Kenny. And he goes, no. I said, must be nice to be Kenny's kids. And then until I got in the company.
And he's a pretty collaborative guy too. I mean, I feel very fortunate to know both of you. But let's talk about those early experiences and how that prepared you for leading, because you just didn't jump into the role that you're in. I mean, you kind of had your comeuppance and things, right?
Sure. I learned a lot of the business from him. When I came into the company, I spent time in every department, moving my way through, learning the company from the inside and out, spending time on the road. And then with part of the industry groups that we're in, I actually got to go to a lot of our pseudo competitors, people that do what we do around the country, but we didn't really compete. We were very territory driven, and I got to go spend time in their companies and learn how they did things and what they were selling. And so I spent, 2 years just pretty much on the road learning. And coming up with new ideas. So I had a good foundation of what the company was, what we were doing, how we did things, and I had a vision of where I wanted to take this thing and how we wanted to grow. And um, working with my dad on that plan, we did it. And we're still trying to grow, and still working on the plan every day. But
Well, yeah, one last question about kind of that leadership journey. What lessons have you learned about managing in a business with a deep history and expectations?
yeah, so my dad always said, I didn't do the same thing that my dad did, and
Hmm.
he knows that I won't do the same thing that my dad did. And but we've got such a great foundation, great legacy, and it really stems from treating people right, doing what's in the best interest of the customer, treating your vendors as your best customer, and it's all about relationships. So, whatever we're doing or growing or industries we're trying to serve, it's all about building relationships, rapport, and growing off of that legacy. Um, and that's something that I truly believe in, and remind the team often of, hey, we got to do, I know this is outside our norm, it doesn't fit our process, or it doesn't, it kind of breaks our rules a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's going to help a customer, and we need to step up and do it.
Well, let's talk about, as we talk about that, let's talk about leadership and then how you've kind of developed the culture and continue to do that, and what that's meant from generation to generation. Um, what kind of leadership culture are you trying to cultivate at Tom Brown?
I am not a micromanager, right? I kind of put a vision out there, and I trust my team, and I let them roll with it. And I really want to you know, power each division and segment of the company to just treat the company like they own it, and compensate them well, and bring ideas up, and here's where I want to go, and how do we get there. And a lot of it is continuous change and improvement. And when I was taking over the company, there was a lot of changes that had to be made, and from personnel to processes to ERP softwares, and um, even marketing initiatives and products. And um, we've come a long way. But from a leadership side of things, it's put the vision out there, and point them in the right direction, but then step back and watch them. And then when we need repointed, we repoint.
Um, as far as like your core values and things like that, are there anything that you have that are like non-negotiables?
Yeah, it goes back to treating people the way you want to be treated, doing what's in the best interest of the customer, and you know we have to do that. In a world today where you can go online and buy any product and have it show up the next day, um, that's a scary place to be in when we sell products. And if we're not cultivating relationships and going above and beyond what expectations are, then we're not in business. And there's some 1,000-pound gorillas out there that we're competing against every day.
Yeah.
And we have the business because we do the right thing, we treat people well, and we try to partner with good people, like-minded people as well.
How do you empower your team to take ownership and stay motivated? I mean, you said you've given the example about what your dad did for you. What are you doing for your team?
Just really, it's making sure they have the resources they need. Like I said, we put a vision out there for where we want to go, and just working together and collaborating. making sure they have the resources they need, and making sure that we're strategic, because we don't have a ton of extra resources.
Mm-hmm.
So we really have to collaborate, come up with a plan, and then go after it. And I really do trust the management team, and let them roll.
Yeah, I know this isn't kind of in the script, so I'm going to go a little off script and stress you out a little bit. But the other piece when you talk relationships is, you've just become a new dad.
Yep.
So and we've got a birthday coming up, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Number one.
First birthday, October 29th. We've got the party this evening. So I got 75, 80 people coming to the house this afternoon for a 1-year-old birthday party, and we split time, my family, between Texas and Pittsburgh. I pretty much am in Pittsburgh Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and Texas Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and we get to celebrate up here for his first birthday, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you were fortunate to be a dad of 2 little boys, right?
Yeah, right. Jace is a 6-year-old, and came into his life when he was about 9 months old, and he's a fun, special boy, and super intelligent, and we have a blast together, and it's really fun to see him now with Brody, my 1-year-old, and watch them interact and play, even though Brody can't walk or talk, but it's really fun to see them interact and play together.
What do you love most about being a dad?
Oh, just when you walk in the room after a long day, and you see them and their eyes light up, right? And they give you the wave, or it's in the morning when he's been screaming in the crib for an hour, and you walk in and he just hugs you and holds you and doesn't want to let go. Those are the special times, and it makes it all worth it.
Yeah. Well, you come, and I asked the question because the moment I mean, I can't remember how long it's been since I first met your dad, right? And you weren't, I don't even know if you were in college yet.
I was 2006 from high school, 2010 from college.
Yeah, so I met him before. Yeah, you were out of college and everything, but it was obvious, right? But even without him saying it, because we met through Vistage, that family was important.
Yeah.
And it was funny because the first time that we had our significant others at a Vistage kind of retreat, that was there were a lot of people that my wife got to meet, but she's not like super extroverted and anything, but she's like, I really like Kenny and his wife. I'm like, they're just good people. But I think it's important for people to know, like, this just doesn't stop at work. It has to be kind of that two-way street. You got to take care of things at home. Now that you have 2 boys, you're going back and forth between here and Texas, which puts another challenge on it. How do you manage all that and try to keep, I hate to use the term balance, but like, how do you try to manage that? Or
yeah, that's tough, right? Yeah. I travel every week, and so I try to fly at night, right?
Yeah.
When after the kids go to bed, or early in the morning before they wake up, and try not to burn full days of work while I'm in the air. And you do a lot of the extra computer work, that type of stuff while you're in the air, or remote, on the Mondays or Fridays that I'm in Texas, and it's not easy for sure. But we at the end of the day, you just got to step up and do what you got to do. And if it's late nights or early mornings,
when you're with your family, what what are the things that you like to do? Are there things that you guys like as a family just enjoy doing together?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Number one is skiing. Yeah, I mentioned the manufacturing plant out in Utah. So we're fortunate that we get to spend some time out there, and that's something that Jason and I really have
Mm-hmm.
is skiing together, and I got to teach him when he was 2 years old, and now being 6, and he's bombing hills, past his mom, and wants to do all the black diamonds and everything, and so that's absolutely number one.
Six. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just love that. Yeah.
And it's what jump can he hit, and can we go through these trees, or drop down this slope.
Oh boy.
And his mom's going, no, I can't do that, and you guys just go. I'll meet you at the lodge.
So is he doing both? Is he skiing and snowboarding?
So I told him, as once he got to a certain point on skis where he can link his turns and go down certain slopes, then I would teach him on a snowboard. So I did teach him to snowboard last year. And he liked it. We only did about a 4-hour session. And he was doing great at that too, but we'll get him out there again this year to let him progress on that.
Yeah. So we might see him in the Olympics. Huh? Is he going to be one of those kids?
Oh, I've thought about it. It's so.
Is he crazy enough to be one of those? Like,
he could be.
That
yes.
show up and like.
Yeah, trying to figure out. And every time we go out there, Jenna's, how do we get him into winter school? Which is they go to school during the summer.
Yeah.
And train all winter, and. Our favorite movie is also Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
And Jace can quote most of the movie.
Oh gosh, that's great.
So I've always thought maybe we get him into bobsledding, or luge or skeleton. Our place in Utah is right below the Olympic Village, and so we go up there and watch the sledders and the ski jumpers and all that stuff when we're out there.
Yeah.
But so who knows? Maybe someday you'll see him in the Olympics. That are going to be there in 2034.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking, well, how do we get him into those games? Because that would be cool. But
that'd be the right timing. Right?
He'd be a little
young,
old, little young.
Oh, man. 6. Yep.
Yeah.
But it could happen.
It could happen.
It could happen.
I've seen.
I've seen those youngins just come out. Like,
oh yeah.
They don't. What's fun about watching that is they don't care. Like, they're just doing it because they love to do it.
Yep.
And that's why I like watching some of that stuff in those younger kids. See, I told you I'd get way off the script, even if I didn't have it in front of me. But I mean, it's one of those things because you enjoy it, they enjoy it. It's something great to do together, and especially for him who doesn't really have he didn't have a whole lot of male presence until you came along. So it's been nice to see that. And then it's been nice, watching you become like a dad again. And what do you looking forward to most when you're raising these two boys? One, is there any more on the horizon, or should I not ask?
Well, we'd love to have more.
Yeah.
It's what we have to figure out is that life work balance with me in the air, and it might be a little stressful for Jenna if with another one, but yeah, we do want another one, and preferably a girl if we could get that. But my parents have 9 grandkids and only one girl, so so looking forward to most is just having fun, right? And teaching them and seeing them grow and excel. It's fun to watch Jason when he's on the mountain or when we're swimming in the pool, and it's like, these are the things that I was able to pass on to him, and to see him love it and get excited about it is really fun.
Yeah. What's one thing that you remember most that you did with your dad that was meaningful and you still kind of in your memory?
Oh boy, so much. I mean, he was a youth football coach growing up. Um, just, you know, whether it be him running wind sprints with us at the end of practice and pulling a hamstring, or
Yeah.
you know, uh, just passing on the quotes from his college football days and his
Yeah.
high school football coaches, and you know, those were always really special times. But you know, it's just everything: golfing, skiing. Um, he was able to spend as much time with us as as possible with how he was growing his businesses and partnerships, around the country. And um,
I think the thing that I would say that because I've learned this from him, because when I came into that group, I already heard, oh, it must be nice to be Kenny. I'm like, well, Kenny was intentional with all this.
Right.
Like, Kenny had a plan. Um, and that's the nugget that I took from that time with him, is like he planned these things out, right? And I always wanted to. I just think it was validated by him and a couple other people, but like especially by him, because I was, I was really young when I came into that group, and he and the others kind of took me kind of up and brought me up and everything. And that was the one thing that I noticed, like, this didn't just happen to him. It was intentional, and he planned these things. Family was important to him, so yeah, he ran a business. And it's hard. It's hard balancing that.
Right.
I'm not saying it's ever easy, but I think a lot of people think that when you get into a position that we're in, that like, oh, it's just great, and it's not. Like, we're on planes.
Yeah.
Right. We're doing stuff.
Yep.
At 10 or 11, or like you said, I mean, you're getting ready for all family. You probably are running on 3 or 4 hours of sleep right now at best. But you have to do those things for your family, and I think a lot of people don't understand that. And the reason that I bring that up is because this podcast is called Your Best Day Yet, and people say that to me. Oh, it must be nice to be you. Well, it is, because I've been intentional about those things. I work hard, but I also play hard. But those play hard are planned, right?
Right. And I have trouble blurring that work life thing, but there is, at the end of the day, it is all the same, right? And if I can play hard while working,
yeah, and
that might be some of the trade organizations and the trips that we go on, and it's integrating the family into that, because we spend so much time with work people that they become our families. And whether so if I can bring Jenna to an event and have her friends be my friends, that we also all work together, we blur the lines of that work life thing, but at the end of the day, it's all the same. And
I think the people that we've, at least for the most part, I mean, I would say this for both of us, but maybe you don't agree. I think you will, but like those lines blur, because those are also good people. Right. And we were just talking about a mutual friend of ours that was at an event with me last night, and I mean, I just like, he's a 2 a.m. person.
Yeah.
Right. If something's going on, I'm calling him too. I forget that he's not like flesh and blood family, but it's family, and I think those things are important to have as part of our leadership journey, because without that, like I said, when I joined Vistage, your dad and several of the other guys that are in there, just brought me up and along and was like, hey, look, we've gone through this, and we'll walk with you through this, and if you need anything, let us know.
Right. Yeah. Vistage was always a really integral part to my growth and learning how to run companies from other perspectives, and being able to collaborate with that group and have a support group. And so I've got, the Vistage group. I've got the Pennsylvania Builders Exchange. I'm on that board of directors. And that's a whole nother set of business owners, more like-minded, and we become friends. We travel together, and then I've got a national organization that I'm the president of, which is Seal and Engineering and Associated Lines. And I'll be in Hawaii in 2 weeks with that group, and the whole family gets to come, and you know, those are friends that are all over the country, and we get together in fun places. But we work hard while we're there, and we build those relationships, and those are, you know, people that we should know. You know, presidents and CEOs of major companies, and making a difference in the world. So.
All right. Well, let's get back on script here a little bit. Appreciate the dialogue, but practical tools and takeaways that you can give some of our listeners and viewers. What's one daily habit, routine, or decision framework you use that helps you lead effectively?
Prioritizing, and which can be a downfall to me as well.
Yeah.
But life is drinking out of a fire hose every single day. So, you know, there's a lot of days where I have to just scroll past a bunch of emails and only hit the ones that need the most attention. But, you know, and I'm not the best at this, but working on it. But going back at the end of the day and the end of the week and just making sure that, you know, I didn't forget about something. Yeah, that's something I'm always working on there. But
if listeners could adopt one shift in mindset or practice, what would you challenge them to try?
Taking a step back and looking at self-awareness. I think self-awareness is extremely important, and this was something that PI kind of taught me and showed me, and it's how you're behaving towards other people, and do they see how you're behaving the same that you see them? And so I always try to look at, you know, and it stresses me out because if we're in a public setting and somebody else is, you know, acting different, and I feel for both sides of the people, right? And then it stresses me out. I get like, you know, try to fix the situation and be a buffer. But, you know, stepping back, looking at how you're acting, and is that helping you or hurting you? And then also taking a step back and looking at big picture and stepping out of the business. I think as business owners, we have a tendency to get stuck working in the business and not on the business. And so just being intentional of, you know, are we stuck in a rut? Do we need to take a step back and look at the big picture? Are we actually hitting our, you know, our goals and our visions, and being intentional about that?
All right, rapid fire.
Oh boy.
Ready? And they don't have to be super rapid. You can elaborate a little bit if you want. One book, resource, anything that you'd recommend to leaders.
You've got to surround yourself with good people. So I'm not much of a reader. I don't, you know, but resources, you've got to surround yourself with a good support group, whether it's a Vistage or boards of directors or just like-minded people, and be intentional with your relationships in those support groups, and trust people. If you don't have that, then you're on an island by yourself.
The next one ought to be a fun one. A daily ritual or a daily ritual or habit you never skip.
From the get-go, coffee, right? Lots of it.
Yeah. And you got the big mug.
You
carry the big mug.
Yep. I left it in the truck right now, but just being outside. That's the other big thing is I hate being inside watching TV. I can't do it. If I can be outside, I'm outside.
Well, ditto that one. A quote or motto you come back to often.
I think it was Mario Andretti that said, if everything seems like it's in control, you're not driving fast enough.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. One decision in your career that changed everything.
So probably company-wide thing is Tom Brown Inc. Diversified over the years, and it got to a point where our building was full. We were having trouble kind of growing and knowing where we were selling product. And so I actually split the company in half, rebranded half of it. So we've got the construction product distribution side of the company. Mm-hmm. We go trade by BK Brown Construction Products on that side. And then we've got Tom Brown Inc. where we convert foam adhesive tapes. And basically I created 2 silos of the company and allowed each division to focus on what they do. And it allowed us to track who we were selling to, why we were selling to them, and then build up product portfolios. And there's always crossover between the 2 industries. Mm-hmm. And that's how we got to where we are today. But creating those 2 silos, we said if it's being built on a construction site in the mud, it comes out of BK Brown. If it's being built in a factory, then it is coming out of Tom Brown Incorporated. And we, it really just gave alignment and focus to those teams to really focus on what they were looking at.
And then the last one, your favorite way to recharge or disconnect?
I think I touched on this earlier, but being on a mountain, being outside anywhere. I do enjoy a beach, but if I had a choice between a beach or a mountain, I'm on a mountain. And just that cool, crisp air and, snow.
Yep.
I love it.
And sunshine.
Yep.
All right. Well, the last question that we always ask everybody, and then, there's no right or wrong answer here. We just like to ask people because it's called your best day yet. What does your best day look like?
So I'm waking up with a big coffee and heading outside in the morning, maybe drinking the coffee on the deck in the sunshine, maybe 45 degrees. And relaxing, right? Give it an hour and a half. Yeah, then I may open up email, have a couple conversations with some friends that are in the business, and do about 2-3 hours of that, and then being outside in the afternoon, maybe hitting the golf course or skiing. Finishing off with a nice steak dinner or some really good barbecue. I love to smoke meat and cook, so and I love to cook it, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe a beverage before bedtime, and maybe that's when we kick on a Penguin game or a Pirate game or a Steeler game, and just kind of kick the feet up and relax a little bit on the couch.
Very good. Appreciate you being on the show.
Absolutely.
Right. It's been a while. Yeah. I think you told me I had to get to, I can't remember. What was it you told me I had to get to? So we had to get to so many subscriber likes.
Yeah. I said, once you hit 2 million, I'll come on.
Yeah. We're not quite there yet. But
after this one, you will be.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll get us there. You'll push us over that. But I appreciate you coming on. Always good to catch up with you. And that's all for today, folks. Really appreciate you watching, listening in. If you want more information, you can always get to us at centerforvictory.com. And just remember, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, make this your best day yet. We'll see